This under the purview of the Ministry of Education. We'll now be certificating it and then categorizing it.
The National Skills Qualification is managed based on National Occupational Standard (NOS). Candidates are assessed on the job to ascertain their achievement or mastery of National Occupational Standard before being awarded with the National Skills Qualifications (NSQ). The National Occupational Standard are developed with inputs mainly from industry and regulated by guidelines from the NSQ regulatory agency. Delivery of the qualifications requires different bodies exercising various responsibilities. These include Quality Assurance Agency, which supervises the functions of awarding bodies, qualification providers, standard-setting bodies, and so on. Sector Skills Council, responsible for development of standards. Awarding bodies, which administer assessment procedures, organizing the roles of assessors, internal and external verifiers, and so on, and conduct of assessment. Training institutions that provide qualifications, and assessment centers which assess NSQs according to awarding body criteria.
You don't need to put anybody, when I say student, I mean individual, anybody, into the four walls of a classroom to make him have one competency or another. You get him at the workplace, the artisans, apprenticeship kind of training. You get them, train them on the job, and finally award them with the necessary qualifications.
One of the major things that can take Nigeria and Nigerians out of poverty is technical and vocational training. Not everybody can do white-collar job. And maybe they don't know, and this is the time for us now to educate the populace that we should make our technical and vocational educational services relevant to our people, both in the rural community and in the urban communities. When you see the scenario all over the world now, it's even more of entrepreneurship. You don't have to force yourself to learn. You don't have to force yourself to go to the university. Even some people in the universities, you'll be surprised and still patronizing some of these technical and vocational training so that they can even be employers of labor.
The Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework has benefits to the employee, employer, and the nation. For the employee, the NSQ provides evidence that the employee can do the job, job progression in employment, employer's recognition as measure of skills and abilities, competence, assessment at work while doing the job, and highly flexible training. One can choose to do a full NSQ or just units of it, and so on. For the employer, the NSQ increases productivity, reduces staff turnover, helps employers to recruit people with the required competencies, provides proof that employee can work to industry standards in a particular job, role, or discipline, and shows customers that an employer has competent workforce who can provide quality product and services. While for the nation, NSQ can improve the economy through well-trained workforce, support the government agenda of fixing the economy, help to reduce unemployment and provide trained workforce for export, provide quality products and services which are competitive in the market, widen access to education and training in TVET, and reduce examination malpractice and certificate racketeering.
The beauty of the system is that it is done in such a way that the skill is assessed irrespective of how that skill is gotten, whether it is in a formal system, informal, or is even inbuilt. You could have somebody that is born intuitively with some talent, with some operational skills that are helpful in any job. This system allows such skill to be assessed, and that allows the person to be placed on appropriate pedestal so that he can contribute his quota towards the productivity in that economy.
So many skills exist in the Nigerian market. People are just doing their own. They are not coordinated. They are not branded. There's no part to it. So what this win is doing now is to bring all these skills together, brand them, let's see what they are doing. The national occupation standard is developed for them, so that when you are working, we know the level that you are working. Then they are now being measured.
The Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework has 3 dimensions. The Nigerian Skills Qualifications Framework, NSQF, National Skills Qualification, NSQ, and the National Occupational Standards, NOS. Already, the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, has developed and received the approval of the Federal Executive Council for a 6-level qualification system corresponding to qualifications obtained from the national educational system. These levels are postgraduate, equivalent to NSQ Level 6, Degree HND, equivalent to NSQ Level 5, National Diploma, National Innovation Diploma, Advanced National Technical Certificate are all equivalent to NSQ Level 4. National Technical Certificate, National Business Certificate, National Vocational Certificate are all equivalent to NSQ Level 3. National Vocational Certificate 2 and Trade Test are equivalent to NSQ Level 2. Pre-vocational, Junior Secondary School, National Vocational Certificate 1 and Trade Test 3 are equivalent to NSQ Level 1.
This placement is not saying that the two are the same, but rather the input to the economy, the complexity that is involved at that level, and the skills that are needed, the skills and competencies and knowledge base that are needed at that level is at par, we think, to the ones that are in the formal sector. And so also the remuneration that should come to somebody at that level should be similar or even better.
The stakeholders from the sector skills councils are already carrying out their functions in achieving optimal results in the NSQ project.
As the Sector Skills Council, is not necessarily take the decisions on our own. What we do really is administrative. We get together all the people who make up the heads within the travel, tourism, and hospitality industry to several meetings, e-meetings and all of that. The purpose for these meetings is to get the labor market information for this sector, to help us be able to deliver the right training and to plan for the future.
As a Sector Skills Council, we are expected to facilitate the development of the national occupational standards, which form the basis for every other thing that needs to be done within given traits. For instance, with respect to the content of training, the certification, the assessment and certification process are all defined based on the provisions of the national occupational standards, which we facilitates its development for the sector.
The National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB, is a key stakeholder in the National Skills Qualification Project and serves as the general awarding body.
NABTEB has been, an examination board that is charged with certification of all TVET programs at that level. But today, other sectors are also brought in, both formal and non-formal. So it's a very, very important event that has happened today. And it's a credit to the federal government, of course, the government of today, that we have moved forward in the technical and vocational education sector.
Nigerian Institute of Welding, Nigerian Institute of Building, Nigerian Society of Engineers, and Institute for Tourism Professionals are some of the professional awarding bodies.
NSQ, as you know, set the standards of competencies that people need to perform in order to be very effective in their work. NSQ, therefore, as far as we are concerned, one, we are an approved center to actually deliver, we are an approved awarding body to deliver NSQs. We, as an awarding body, now approve centers to deliver those courses. As an awarding body, we are actually part of the body that develop and produce the NSQ as a member of the Sector Skills Council.
We have been licensed as the awarding body for welding skills, welding and related skills. So our responsibility is to ensure that training and skills acquired in welding area is up to the standard, meet every standard that has been set up by the NSQF.
Already, many individuals and organizations have queued into the Nigerian Skills Qualification Program, including ITF, NAPTIN, NAPTEB, NAC, LastVerb, NIHOTOR, NIOB, and COBON, and so on, and are all doing well in developing capacity for the system and the nation's economy. Mafita is a non-governmental organization based in Kano. Mafita, meaning way out, is engaged in training and human capacity building across many trades.
We looked at our beneficiaries and we needed to know which levels that our beneficiaries could train on. And definitely, you couldn't go to any other place but the custodian of technical education in the country. And going there, we all agreed with NBT that we would train our beneficiaries along the National Qualifications Framework. And due to the profile, we also agreed that we would train them at levels 1 and 2 of the National Qualifications Framework. As you may be aware, they have 6 levels.
The Mafita organization appreciates the change of acronyms from National Vocational Qualifications to National Skills Qualifications. According to the Skills Development Manager, the change has improved the NSQ project and how members of the public perceive the NSQ in general.
I was extremely happy when I got that letter that now Nigeria has adopted National Skills Qualifications Framework. It reflects the resolution made by the African Union, and it also reflects what is actually on the ground, where some vocations had been excluded from the Vocational Qualifications Framework. Now that we have National Skills Qualifications Framework, it encompasses all formal, non-formal, and informal. So this is a great idea, and I believe, I'm trying to find out, but I believe Nigeria is among the few countries that have been so bold to change from National Vocational Qualifications Framework to National Skills Qualifications Framework.
In Lagos, Wavecrest College of Catering and Hospitality Management and Lagoon Institute of Hospitality are training providers in the hospitality industry, providing that hands-on knowledge.
In order to ensure that the learners are actually competent in what they are doing, they go through the whole process with the assessor. And I, myself, as internal verifier, I go through what they have done as well to really be sure that the learners are actually competent with what they are doing.
We have so many people that have been trained from crafts level to level 2, level 3, and also now they are professionals and they really have to get this qualification. It is something that we have to do in order to improve the labor market. You know, it's not just people that they have been trained for such a long time and they cannot progress.
Industrial Training Fund, ITF, is a famous training scheme by the federal government of Nigeria. It has long queued into the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework to be able to professionally assess its students and award the desired recognition and certification. Today, many of ITF trainees are, upon completion of their training, will be certified in line with the national skills qualification.
I'm a qualified assessor and verifier, duly trained by the National Board for Technical Education. And it's a very nice concept from the MBTE. So the MVQ is the way to go currently now. And ITF, being a critical stakeholder, being a multi-skill provider, has keyed into this. ITF have sent a lot of their staff to be trained as assessors and verifiers. The truth is that the platform gives room for competency to be recognized.
The National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, is already training hundreds of Nigerians in line with the national skills qualification. Indeed, the power sector is one area in need of qualified manpower with practical experience.
We serve as a sector skill council as well as training providers. So as I'm talking to you, NAPTIN has trained and has a qualified assessors, internal verifiers, external quality assurance managers, and a lot of learners that cut across all the electricity value chain. That is the transmission, distribution, and the generation of the power sector.
Universal Learn Direct Academy, ULDA, is a private building training academy in Lagos. It trains craftsmen and even fresh graduates in building trades. It already has trainees on levels 1 to 3.
To us in the industry, and even as industry trainers, it's the only certification now that can drive a lot of young ones, a lot of youths into construction trades, because it's a global certification.
Ford Foundation is a non-governmental organization with keen interest on skills development. Ford Foundation is a key partner in the National Skills Qualification Project.
Our support to NBT is really thinking about across all of the possible things that you can do in relation to the vocational qualifications framework. Where is the best place to put your money? Obviously, in order to have a system that has the right level of quality, that has the manpower to be able to conduct proper assessments, and to be able to have the manpower to certify that the quality mechanisms in a training program or in an institution are efficient and effective, you need to have a whole quality management system in any locality. So our support to NBT is really looking at how do you strengthen the systems of quality management across the spectrum of the vocational qualifications framework.
On Thursday, the 15th of February 2018, the Honorable Minister of Education, Malang Adamu, at the Idris Abdul Qadir Auditorium, National Universities Commission, Abuja, officially launched the National Skills Qualification.
The policy direction of the Ministry is to identify and look closely at the challenges facing TVET in Nigeria and to develop ways and means of overcoming all of them. On the qualification framework, the Ministry will, through the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, incorporate qualifications from the NSQF into the scheme of service of the Federation.
In a goodwill message at the occasion, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, extolled the National Skills Qualification, saying the program wouldn't have come at a better time than now, when there is a dire need of competent hands in all spheres of the economy.